Welcome to the Worst of the RIOT podcast, a Thursday, January 4th edition. Today on the show, we talk about why doggy Mickey ears aren't as cute as they may sound.
We also talk about the rumored cast for the next Avengers movie has caused some concern in MCU circles.
Eyebrows have been raised. Ire has been drawn. We'll see how that plays out. Finally, we talk about a couple that was forced to save and dig through all of their dogs' turds. There's no other prettier way to say it. It's all coming up in the Worst of the RIOT podcast today. Enjoy.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the RIOT. RadioU. Do yourself a favor and follow The Riot on Instagram at RadioU Riot.
Could 2024 be the year that Marvel gets back on track? It's kind of a race, would you say, Isaiah, to see whether Marvel or DC gets their entertainment back on track first?
I would say Marvel has a little bit of a head start.
They have they've fallen further, but they still haven't fallen down to the level that DC has ever been at. But the concerns are that 2024 will not only be, and going forward, will not only be the year of Marvel getting back, but they might not get back for a while. Rumors are swirling about the next Avengers movie, which is at this time still titled The Avengers, The Kang Dynasty, even though it is unclear at the moment whether it will be a recast Kang or whether it will be a new villain entirely and they'll go in a different direction. However, their rumors are swirling not just about that, but about who the actual Avengers will be. And it's got some eyebrows raised. Are you ready for this?
I'm excited. I am excited.
All right, Captain America.
Makes sense. I mean, obviously.
Played by Anthony Mackie. Captain Marvel. Brie Larson, of course.
Okay.
You got the Hulk, Mark Ruffalo.
Makes sense.
Then you've got Valkyrie from Thor, Tessa Thompson.
She's one of them?
Yep.
That's kind of surprising.
As the rumors go. Also, Benedict Wong as Wong from Doctor Strange. Ant-Man, Paul Rudd. Evangeline Lilly as the Wasp. Awkwafina as her character from Shang-Chi, Katie, and then Simu Liu as Shang-Chi. And finally, She-Hulk, Tatiana Maslany. Some people are saying this is not good enough, that these aren't the Avengers.
This isn't looking good.
You don't think it looks good?
No, not at all. There's 3 characters that if they were included, then it would be perfect.
And who are those?
Obviously, Doctor Strange not being included is absolutely wild.
Pretty questionable. You have Wong, but not Doctor Strange.
And I like Wong.
Yeah.
I like Wong as a character.
Yeah.
Alongside Doctor Strange. I like ketchup, but I need the hot dog. Come on, what are we doing here?
Right. What else? Okay, Doctor Strange, she's in the mix, then you're interested.
And I'm not even the biggest fan of this guy, as I've said on the show. I like him, but not as much as everybody. And that's Spider-Man. He's not an Avenger.
Yeah, where's Spider-Man?
He's like the most profitable person we have.
Yeah.
He's the most profitable character. And they're not going to use him in the Avengers?
Apparently not.
I don't believe
that.
As
the rumors go.
I'm starting to think this may not be accurate. And then the other one is, I know it feels as if his time is coming close to an end.
Yeah.
But Thor, still not being there. I mean, I understand he's been through it all.
Mm-hmm.
But you would still want to see Thor in there. As long as he's going to be a part of the MCU, he should be an Avenger.
He would at least offer it a little juice as a name. Because at the moment, I mean, I love some of these characters, Paul Rudd, the Hulk, but who's the leader? Who's
leading the way?
Yeah.
Because Doctor Strange gives you that too.
Yeah, he can do that.
He can lead.
Who's
leading this crew?
I'm imagining that either Captain Marvel or Captain America is going to be the leader, but they're just not strong enough as currently constituted to get us excited. So
this is the mid-Vengers so far.
You said it.
They're not beating anybody right now.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
Did you know this? Did you know it's possible to beat the game of Tetris?
I did not know that's possible. I thought it just went forever.
That's what I thought. I thought it was just an infinite, it's just always going to give you those little shapes forever if you keep going with it. But it is possible to actually conquer the game, although no human has ever done it in all the years that Tetris has existed until now. A 13-year-old has just become the first human to ever hit what they call the kill screen in Tetris, which it seems just means getting your score all the way to 99999, like until there's no more spaces and it's just nines. He did it. His name is Willis Gibson. He goes by the name Blue Scooty online, and he did it. This is on the original, the Nintendo Entertainment System, the old NES. He did this. I want to know, how long did it take him? And I don't just mean how long did it take him in this sitting to get to the top score, but how long has he practiced? How much time has he devoted to Tetris out of his 13 years of living to actually be able to accomplish this?
Because when you think about no one ever accomplishing it ever.
Nobody.
And people have devoted their lives to this game.
Yeah.
There's 55-year-olds, there's 45-year-olds, there's 35-year-olds that have spent more time on this game than anything else in their life, probably.
Uh-huh.
And they weren't able to do it.
There's literally world Tetris champions. And not a single one of them ever actually defeated the game the way this 13-year-old just did.
So that makes you question, when you see a 13-year-old do it, is that the point when you're 49 years old that maybe you retire from trying to beat it? Because at this point, no longer impressive. Yeah.
What's the point at this time?
This kid's been playing the game for 3 years.
You got to move on to something else. They say that it has been accomplished before, so the game's been beaten, but only with the aid of artificial intelligence. So this is the first time that just a straight up human on their own abilities has been able to do it, which is crazy that a game that was made 34 years ago could be so complex or so difficult, so challenging that no human was able to accomplish that. That also is worth noting.
Yeah, especially because it's such a simple game. Tetris is such a simple game.
Yeah, it is.
You're just stacking.
Says us.
I know,
who
right?
have never gotten near the kill screen. But hey, we shouldn't feel bad because neither of the myriad of world Tetris champions until this child did it.
Can't we consider you a world champion if you've never beaten the game?
Yeah.
Where do we stand on that?
I don't know. It definitely seems questionable. The other question is this the coolest thing that this child will ever do?
There's no way he ever tops this.
Peaking at 13.
100%.
But think about the other games he might be able to beat. Dr. Mario, perhaps.
But then you think at the same time,
Duck Hunt, maybe.
Could it ever be as impressive as being the first to ever beat a game?
Such an iconic one, too.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, Radio U.
A debate's going on in China right now. The debate is whether it's okay to give pets Mickey ears. Sounds cute, doesn't it?
Sounds very cute. Maybe like you do at Disney World. You've worn Mickey ears, haven't you?
I do often, yes.
You so would.
Every Thursday, actually,
You so
when I
would.
get home. But it's not as cute when you consider that these Mickey ears that they are giving to pets are being done surgically.
Oh, so these aren't put them on your pup's head.
Yeah.
Mickey ears.
That would be debatable enough on its own. Forget about the idea that some vets will perform this procedure that rounds off dog or cat ears so that they resemble the shape of Mickey Mouse's iconic ears as well. It is a a procedure that is there's no legal ramifications for it whatsoever in China. However, some are trying to get the procedure banned because it seems a little cruel, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously it seems cruel.
So I'm trying to figure out, I mean, the debate. What is the pro? What is the for side arguing here?
It's cute.
I do, yeah. A lot of times with pets, that's kind of what some things come down to. Usually that wins because a lot of the cute things aren't surgical procedures. But when it's a surgical procedure, the pet has no say in. And I mean, I can go through if you're not already convinced that this is a dumb idea. They do say that although the surgery itself usually only takes about 30 minutes, obviously it can be painful. And then there's also a 20 to 60 day follow-up where they have to like keep checking back in to make sure the ears don't flop down, to make sure they stay upright like Mickey's, because that would obviously not as cute.
See, and when you look at the photos, they look ridiculous.
Yeah.
And my thought would be maybe it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
That would be an argument if there was no pain whatsoever, but there's pain.
Yeah. It says it can be painful. It says damaging the natural structure of the ears can cause psychogenic problems in some pets. For instance, some sensitive pets don't put it on the pet, don't they? They're sensitive. No, for some pets, they may scratch repeatedly due to excessive pain.
Yeah, I would lean, obviously, no, don't do this. It seems pretty self-explanatory. This isn't a toy
Yeah.
that you're playing with.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to change the ears on your pet, you need to get some sort of stuffed pet, like a stuffed animal.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you don't deserve to have a real dog.
Yeah, you might not be ready. You do have to question, who was the person? How was this introduced? Who did this at first? Was it a vet that said, "Hey, you know what I can do for you"? Because that's what's happening now. Is some shadier vets? They say many reputable vets refuse to do it morally, even though it's not illegal. However, some of the shadier vets around China not only will do it, but they're offering like specials now for you to try to get it done quick.
Oh man, because they know it's about to go.
Probably.
Jeez, and they're a veterinarian. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but the question remains: was it a vet that was like, "Hey, your pet would look pretty cute. I could do this thing. I could just snip off the top of the ears."
I'm sure somebody came in with a photo, like they're getting a haircut or something.
Of Mickey Mouse. It's not right.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, Radio U.
A debate's going on in China right now. The debate is whether it's okay to give pets Mickey ears. Sounds cute, doesn't it?
Sounds very cute. Maybe like you do at Disney World. You've worn Mickey ears, haven't you?
I do often, yes.
You so would.
Every Thursday, actually,
You so
when I get
would.
home. But it's not as cute when you consider that these Mickey ears that they are giving to pets are being done surgically.
Oh, so these aren't put them on your pup's head.
Yeah.
Mickey ears.
That would be debatable enough on its own. Forget about the idea that some vets will perform this procedure that rounds off dog or cat ears so that they resemble the shape of Mickey Mouse's iconic ears as well. It is a procedure that is there's no legal ramifications for it whatsoever in China. However, some are trying to get the procedure banned because it seems a little cruel, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously it seems cruel.
So I'm trying to figure out, I mean, the debate. What is the pro? What is the for side arguing here?
It's cute.
I do, yeah. A lot of times with pets, that's kind of what some things come down to. Usually that wins because a lot of the cute things aren't surgical procedures. But when it's a surgical procedure, the pet has no say in. And I mean, I can go through if you're not already convinced that this is a dumb idea. they do say that although the surgery itself usually only takes about 30 minutes, obviously it can be painful. And then there's also a 20 to 60 day follow-up where they have to like keep checking back in to make sure the ears don't flop down, to make sure they stay upright like Mickey's, because that would obviously not as cute.
See, and when you look at the photos, they look ridiculous.
Yeah.
And my thought would be maybe it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
That would be an argument if there was no pain whatsoever, but there's pain.
Yeah. It says it can be painful. It says damaging the natural structure of the ears can cause psychogenic problems in some pets. For instance, some sensitive pets, don't put it on the pet, don't they? They're sensitive? No. For some pets, they may scratch repeatedly due to excessive pain.
Yeah, I would lean, obviously, no, don't do this. It seems pretty self-explanatory. This isn't a toy
Yeah.
that you're playing with.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to change the ears on your pet, you need to get some sort of stuffed pet, like a stuffed animal.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you don't deserve to have a real dog.
Yeah, you might not be ready. You do have to question, who was the person, how was this introduced? Who did this at first? Was it a vet that said, hey, you know what I can do for you? Because that's what's happening now is some shadier vets. They say many reputable vets refuse to do it morally, even though it's not illegal. However, some of the shadier vets around China not only will do it, but they're offering like specials now for you to try to get it done quick.
Oh, man, because they know it's about to go.
Probably.
Jeez. And they're a veterinarian. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but the question remains, was it a vet that was like, hey, your pet would look pretty cute. I could do this thing. I could just snip off the top of the ears.
I'm sure somebody came in with a photo like they're getting a haircut or something.
Of Mickey Mouse. It's not right.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on Radio U.
It's unfortunate. Probably a big miss, I would say, on GE's part that they waited to unveil this until after Christmas. Because your dad would be so excited to get a new indoor smoker as a gift, wouldn't he?
We already have a smoker, sorry.
But what about if you could smoke inside?
I don't think they would go for this.
It'd be a game changer.
I'm looking at the picture of this. I don't think that they would go for this. My brother's a big smoker. He loves smoking meat.
Yeah.
And he has an outside smoker.
Yeah. No,
and I
amazing.
would think that if I sent him this, he would probably laugh in my face.
What's the problem? So GE has unveiled, they call it the GE Profile Smart Indoor Smoker. And it is the first of its kind, a smoker that allows you to smoke meat inside your house without filling your house with actual smoke. And what's the problem with it?
I would send this to my brother, and he would say, "You're telling me to buy this for $1,000?
Yeah.
When I could just step outside and just smoke the meat the old-fashioned way."
Well,
in the elements, like a man would.
There's you know what? First of all, I'm sure a lot of people said that about ovens when they were introduced for home use too. It's like, what? I can just I'll cook out outside. What's the big deal? Just over the fire like a man.
Well, if it was if it was an $800 difference, I still would be using an oven outdoors.
I bet you ovens were even more expensive when they first became a thing. But nevertheless, this also though has additional features that your old-fashioned outdoor smoker doesn't have. For example, smoke and hold, which allows you to keep your meat servable and ready up to 24 hours after it's finished smoking, so that you don't have to worry about serving your guests overcooked or dried out meat.
I feel like you could just time that up better.
You could time it up, but
you don't know when your guests are coming within a 24-hour period?
Every cut of meat is different. And so you just don't know. You just don't know.
You never know.
Sometimes there's delays and or things go quicker. It has tight gaskets and seals to keep the smoke within the appliance so it doesn't spread throughout your home. Even though to me that would be a positive of just like having the smoker inside. would your house smell like smoked meat? Because that's a huge benefit of smoking stuff is the smell to me.
Does smell good.
It has other features as well. I'll admit this is my quibble. Obviously, $1,000. It's a lot of money. Also, it's not that big. Look at the size of that thing. They got to offer something more hefty.
$1,000 and you're smoking what? 3 hamburgers?
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's really going to be able to provide for a big crowd. Which a lot of times,
A family of 2.
Yeah,
You and your wife.
You can eat like a quarter of a pork butt, maybe. I don't know. But it is exciting, and it's the first. So you give it some time and the prices will come down and even more advances will be made. And soon enough, you won't have to stand out in the elements hovering over a smoker outdoors to be able to have some smoked meat.
No, this is a good idea. This is similar to the George Foreman. You remember that?
Yeah, find it at a Goodwill near you.
Precisely.
There's never been a can of worms they didn't open. The Riot, Radio U.
The Golden Globes coming up Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. You'll be able to watch the Golden Globes. I'll tell you that I'll have the flashback button will be full effect at my house between the Golden Globes and the Bills versus Dolphins. And what's crazy is, all the various Hollywood stars that get to participate in the Golden Globes. That's right. Directors, producers. They all are entitled to a Golden Globes gift basket as well.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, except when you hear how much the Golden Globes gift basket is worth. We're talking about $500,000.
The rich just get richer, huh?
That's
$500,000.
That's for sure. Do you even want to know what's in it?
They don't even deserve it.
It's really
unbelievable.
It's I said basket. It's more of a bag. It is a $600 Metier Marrakech brown suede bag.
I'd be happy with just the bag at this point.
I know, seriously. I don't even know what that looks like, but suede? Come on. You also get $200 custom Krasky swim trunks. Some of these are like brands, these things. I don't even know if I'm saying them right because they're so fancy.
$200 swim trunks.
Yeah. In addition, you also get a $2,500 session with a celebrity tattoo artist if you should so choose to.
That's a wild thing to include in a gift basket.
That is crazy, right?
Would you like a tattoo?
You think about
We're
it, too.
giving you a gift card.
For, I would say, like 95% of celebrities, you wouldn't even know they have tattoos, right?
Yeah.
Because it's, if they have something too personal and it's visible, then you wouldn't want that being seen in the movie because it messes up the character. Also, caviar, liquor, wine, beauty treatments, and an array of trips, which is where really where the money that these bags add up to. That's where it's all stacked up in these various vacations that are on offer.
Seems a bit ridiculous. A 2-night stay in France.
Yeah.
An all-inclusive New Zealand stay.
Uh-huh.
A $20,000 trip to the Ritz-Carlton Grand Cayman. This is ridiculous.
We got into the wrong field.
A $15,000 stay at the Four Seasons Punta Mita, one of Mexico's most opulent resorts.
Yeah. Sounds nice.
What about, oh my gosh, a membership in ExoJet? With $10,000 worth of flight credits, that's a private jet charter.
Nice.
For what?
To go to wherever they need.
Participating
one of these places they need to go.
At the Golden Globes?
Did you see why actors and other celebrities, why they get so excited for these award shows? It's not because they get recognized for their hard work. It's because they get the bag, literally. They get the gift bag that's got all this stuff in it. And these trips, these vacations that, yeah, many, maybe probably not all, but many would be able to afford on their own anyways. But then isn't it so much nicer when you don't have to pay? No matter how rich you get, I think that still holds true.
And you think about the Golden Globes.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, this is a bunch of the top movies.
There's some big stars.
And these people have a lot of money.
Yeah.
But just the audacity to even post this. I don't even want to know that they have such things like this.
You don't want to know this?
I would rather not know that they have gift baskets worth more than I'll make it my entire lifetime.
Yeah. That's a hard reality. But hey, yet again, we got into the wrong field. If we had just been actors, who knows where we'd be right now.
I won't even ever fly on a private jet. Let alone
you're still young.
get to go to the Ritz-Carlton Grand Cayman.
Don't write yourself off just yet.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow @RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
Big day coming up on Sunday. Not only is it the final Sunday of the NFL regular season, the Golden Globes we just talked about, it's also, they call it Dating Sunday. It is the most active day on dating apps, at least according to those at Tinder. They report that on the first Sunday in January, the number of messages sent on Tinder increases by 22%. People respond on average 19.4 minutes faster than on any other Sunday in the year. And the number of likes on the app increases by 18.2%. They say 519 bios will be updated every minute, and 2,263 photos will be uploaded every minute this Sunday. It's gonna be fast and furious this Sunday. Isaiah, you have any recommendations getting people ready for the dating season as it heats up leading towards Valentine's Day?
I can't believe that this is the time. But I guess it's the new
prime
year.
time. Yeah,
it's the
new year, new possibilities, new opportunities, new motivation. And I think Valentine's Day's got to play a role into it as well. Plus all the holiday breakups probably.
And you got to think, too, this is a really boring time for a lot of people. January.
Exactly.
People are bored inside. Don't have a lot going on.
That's true, actually. That's a great call.
You think about the month of January is a month of trying to maybe turn your life into a different direction. Maybe you're trying to turn your life into a new relationship. Start it up with somebody. Especially after the cold winter months. You get through all of the crazy family stuff during December. And so now you don't have to worry about meeting somebody new and having to figure out if you're going to introduce them to your family or not.
Sure.
Now you can just start afresh, start anew without having any time. You have plenty of time before you have to introduce them to your family.
Yeah, well, and you think about it too. It goes back to in the winter months, people are more stuck at home. But in December with the holidays, there's so many distractions now. There's not a lot of distractions. There's not a lot to occupy you. So you're looking for something to do. Looking for somebody to talk to. Plus, we talked about this too. One of the recent, or the biggest breakup day of the year, I don't remember exactly. It's at the tail end of December, right before Christmas, is the biggest breakup day of the year. So that just means, chances are, it's more single people around this time. So, yet again, I ask you, what's your tips? You got any ideas?
The only tip I would say is you got to figure out what works for you. What works for me is not going to work for you. And what works for you might not work for me. But you got to figure out what works for you, what you have success with when it comes to the dating apps. Try a myriad of things until you find consistent success.
Well, that's what you say. I've got a dating expert here, a relationship insights expert, Paul C. Brunson. Here's his advice.
Let's hear it, Paul C.
First of all, Paul says you want at least 5 photos on your profile that capture your personality and show off your interest. So it can't just be you smiling. It's got to be, you got to be doing something, out and about somewhere, at least wearing an interesting shirt, something. That's number 1 tip. 2, he says the optimal length of your profile. You're talking 45 words max. Be efficient.
Makes sense.
Be efficient.
45 words is a lot of words for a bio.
Yeah. You think about 45 words, I know in radio that equates to about 15 seconds of you talking. So if you can't say it in 15 seconds,
that's
what is
crazy
your
long.
Elevator pitch to somebody on why they should date you?
You need to show some personality, maybe some humor.
Yeah.
I would say. Mine was back in the day when I had one.
Mhm.
I have the worst behaved dog within 100 miles. Boom. Tells you all you need to know about me. When you come to my house,
No
there's going to be a
wonder.
dog there that smells bad.
No wonder you're not single anymore.
Exactly.
Good luck
With
out there.
lines
this
like that.
Sunday.
Hudson is the maple syrup, and Isaiah is the power protein flapjack. This is The Riot on Radio U.
Isaiah, I forget. Did you actually decide to make a New Year's resolution, an official one,
We both had the same one.
or just to be better with money? To
Yeah,
save?
I haven't totally formulated it out yet,
Yeah.
but it will be surrounded around money.
Yeah. Well,
Some sort of saving technique.
time is passing us by. It's already January 4th. You gotta. It's not really a New Year's resolution if you start it like when. When is the cutoff to start a New Year's resolution?
Well, I think a resolution, the later you wait, the more likely you probably are to do it.
That could be true.
I mean, we talked about that with weight loss yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We said if you want to lose weight, or at least if you want to go to the gym, you actually have to join in the spring or the fall, because then you'll actually continue. You're more likely to continue on going. You ever think about this? Maybe the reason that New Year's resolutions so routinely seem to fail is because most New Year's resolutions all revolve around negativity. You ever think about that? You ever think about how almost all New Year's resolutions, it's you thinking about a flaw that you have, and then for as long as you can stick with the resolution, thinking about how you're trying to, this flaw is so an issue for you that you need to fix it, that you need to change it. And so it's actually kind of a real negative mindset. If that's how you go, I'm too heavy, I weigh too much, I don't have enough money. All these, you're just thinking of flaws, where maybe if you think about it from a perspective of, well, here's what I'm good at. Here are my strengths. Here's what I can, what I already do well, so I can use that to improve my life in 2024. Maybe that'd be a more effective strategy. But I don't think a lot of us think that way. Most of us don't give ourselves a lot of positive reinforcement. Forget about anybody else doing that for you. It's true. There's a lot of places will tell you all the negative things about you, and then that's what you think about, and so then you want to try to fix them. But here's what's great. A relationship with God is going to give you that positive reinforcement, because yet again, there's numerous myriad places for you to hear about what's wrong with you. But Jesus wants to help you focus on the strengths, because God loves you. God sees a lot to love about you that we tend to overlook. God sees a lot of those strengths, those things that actually you do really well, that are great things about you. And Jesus is going to remind you of those, even when nobody else does. And that's an amazing mindset to carry you into the new year, that hopefully will have much better results than looking at a bunch of negative things about your life and trying to fix it in that way. Start talking to God. Let him talk to you. See how he can help, and how just changing that mindset with him will make a big difference. You want to know more? RadioU.com/free gift.
You don't always have to agree with Isaiah to always disagree with Hudson. The Riot. Radio U.
All right, our first choice champions of the new year. Although our focus today in Choice Champions is all about the past year. Choice Champions, Isaiah and I, we make 3 picks each, snake draft style, on a chosen topic, and then it's up to you to decide which of us came up with a better team and which things we missed. Our topic today is the best things of 2023, which is very open-ended. Let's look at some of the positives that came our way last year, one last time. And Isaiah, you have the first pick.
It feels as if this first overall pick may be one of the most obvious ones ever.
Does it?
It does for me. Because what I'm going with number 1 overall happened on May 5th, 2023.
Cinco de Mayo. That happens every year.
But what you don't remember about this one was the pandemic officially ended. That was the day the World Health Organization said it no longer classifies COVID as a global public health emergency, and we all could return
Wow.
to what could possibly be our normal lives once again.
Yeah. What a great choice.
That's what I'm going with number one.
All
if you have
right.
something else you would have went with,
yeah.
you're crazy.
I do. I'm glad you didn't take this. My top pick is it's a thing in 2023. It is arguably the thing of 2023, and that's Taylor Swift. Let me tell you why. And it's not because I love Taylor Swift so much. I may be a Swiftie, some might say, but that's not why. I just like that in 2023, we had a thing that any person of any age group could have an opinion on. If you're stuck in an elevator with somebody that you've never met and they were 50 years age difference from you could just be like, Taylor Swift, huh? And they'd have an opinion, but it's not the end of the world. It's not like politics. It's not a war that everybody is experiencing. It was just something inconsequential that everybody could talk about. I think that's fun and nice. And I do kind of like Taylor Swift. So that's my top choice. Next, this one, the end of the writers and actors strikes. Because not that those moments in and of themselves were that great. It's just think about where we would be if the actors and writers were still on strike right now. We'd be slowly and surely running out of things to watch and turning more and more to having to watch The Golden Bachelor, and nobody wants that.
Ooh, that's a good one. The writer's strike is something that you don't always think about, that many people forgot about, but that was a huge part of good old 2023.
Yeah.
My next one, and this is something that just recently happened, especially around the holiday season. Many people consider this year the year that people got back in the air. The number of air passengers, both domestically and worldwide, topped pre-pandemic levels. This holiday season was on track and did end up being the second highest for travel ever.
Okay.
And so if maybe in 2022, you were still trying to rebound off of COVID, a lot of people, especially money-wise, weren't really in the spot to get back to actually going on vacation, where this year in 2023, many people got back to traveling.
All right.
And that was one of the top
Good
things
choice.
that I picked. And then my final one has to be Barbenheimer. Getting people back in the movie theaters.
I considered that.
I'm a big fan of the movie theaters. And so that was a big event for me that Barbie, for many people, my parents own toy stores.
Yeah.
So the whole Barbie
now the
trend,
truth comes out.
the whole Barbie trend was a big one this year for many of the kiddos.
I can't believe, or I just can't wait to hear you try to recap this list succinctly. But I can't believe there's a obvious, egregious error of a pick you missed that I will use as my last pick. And that is in 2023, when Isaiah took over as the full-time co-host of The Riot. Obviously a bittersweet moment because we loved Nikki and it was sad to see her go. However, it's also been great to have Isaiah on the show, a worthy adversary, some might say. And so that is my third choice
A wild
for best
choice
moment of
there.
2023. That changed The Riot forever. So recap, your best things of 2023 in the Choice Champions draft is...
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
The pandemic, COVID, officially ending on May 5th. People getting back into vacations in 2023. And Barbenheimer to wrap up my top three.
Mine is Taylor Swift, the end of the writers and actors strikes, and Isaiah taking over on The Riot.
I can't believe you included Nikki leaving as one of your top three things to happen.
8772 Radio U. Let us know who had the better team and what we missed. We'll find out what people are saying next.
Do yourself a favor and follow The Riot on Instagram at RadioU Riot.
We're in the midst of Choice Champions, our first Choice Champions of 2024, which is actually looking back at the year 2023. We drafted the best things that we enjoyed in 2023. Isaiah, you had the first pick. Your team is...
The official end of COVID on May 5th,
We love
2023.
doing that.
Also, people getting back into flying, vacations, hitting what was, especially around Christmas time, record highs for people going on vacations. And then I wrapped it up with the movie theaters starting to rebound a bit with the Barbenheimer event.
That was your strongest pick to me, just because when you look back years from now, when we look back at 2023, you'll still think of it probably and think Barbenheimer. I don't know if you'll think about those other two things.
But I would argue against even myself.
Uh-huh.
The one thing I hate about the movie thing is it's not so much like Barbie or Oppenheimer that really did it for me, but it was people going to the movie theater.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Because I never have really equated a movie with a year.
Yeah.
But it's so many, in these past couple of years, it's really been people haven't been going anymore. That's been the whole story of movie theaters.
Except for when Top Gun came out.
Yeah.
That was it. My team was Taylor Swift, the end of the writers and actors strikes, and Isaiah taking over as a full-time Riot host. Susanna cast her vote. She says she was actually going to say whoever picks Taylor Swift because she kind of became a low-key Taylor Swift fan in 2023. And then I actually picked her. But I also get bonus points, she says, for picking you joining the Riot full-time. So she's going with me. So there's that vote right there.
Yeah, you picking me was kind of a cheat code.
Why did you not pick yourself?
Because it just feels very, very conceited.
Yeah, but don't you think I would have done that?
But then everybody would have thought the first thing you would think, because when you say you picking me, then yet again, that's kicking Nikki out the door.
It's
Which
not,
for me,
though.
that was a sad day for me.
We still love Nikki. She cannot do the show full time. We're going to talk to her tomorrow. It's going to be great. I can't wait to check in with her. But we get to check in with you every day, all the time now. That's a positive.
Would have been a conceited vote of mine.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you wound up just missing the cut for you of 2023? Other events you considered? One
of the things that I really appreciated, and not everybody else is gonna like this one, but one that I appreciated was the fashion of 2023. A big thing that if you're not so much into it, you would know, but everything back is now in style once again.
Yeah.
And so like oversized tees, all of the cargo pants. You know, I love the cargos, man.
Yeah, you do.
Low rise, Uggs, all that good stuff is all back once again. And I'm a fan of a lot of those fashion choices.
That's a good choice. You know what? I kind of made my list, and once I got to 3, I was like, that's good. Because it was hard to find things, just not because I didn't have a lot of good things about 2023. It was just looking up a list. Most of the stuff is just like ChatGPT or this foreign leader or this person was like, it's just not applicable or not stuff that I really was getting jazzed about. Chad says, good morning, Hudson and Isaiah. One for Barbenheimer is the best choice, but Isaiah coming on to the Riot is still great. That's from Chad. Carlos texted in. He says, Hudson picking Isaiah joining the Riot is a trump card, so voting for that choice. And it looks like Dean here also choosing my team. So a pretty clear victory for me. And ironically enough, Isaiah happens to be what won it for me.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the Riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
How much money would your dog have to eat for you to go through its poop to get it out? Isaiah, you have a dog that I wouldn't be shocked if this happened. What's your answer?
I would say, what do you mean going through?
Well, I'll tell you, for this couple here, Clayton and Carrie Law of Pennsylvania, they literally, for much of the money that they went ahead and retrieved, they had to collect their dog's poop from the yard, peel through it, and get the shreds, the shards of remaining cash that the dog had eaten and wash it off and try to piece it back together. They had to get real hands-on. How much money would Jim have to eat for you to do that?
Well, you got to think you're not rinsing the poop off.
Rinse it? What do you mean?
You can't rinse the poop off the money.
So what's your strategy?
I don't know what you can do. It sounds like if your dog poops it out, it's over.
Oh, no, it's not over. This happened. Let me tell you the story. See if that changes your mind about how much you would have to go through. So this is Clayton and Carrie Law, a couple from Pennsylvania. Their dog, a golden doodle named Cecil. They had gotten $4,000 in cash out from their joint savings account so they could put in a fence in their yard. and they had left it sitting on the counter. They said their dog has never done anything like this, not just with money, but with food in general, has never eaten anything off of the counter. And so they were shocked to find out that Cecil had eaten most of that $4,000 of cash. They talked to the vet. The vet said the cash should just pass through and not cause Cecil any issues, which it didn't. However, Cecil, he didn't just eat it. He chewed it up. He chewed and swallowed. And so the cash was all shredded up. Now, when it was all said and done, between some things he initially coughed up at first and then them going through the turds in the yard, they were able to recover $3,550 of the $4,000 that Cecil had eaten. And so they were able to get that back. They did have to put the bills back together to take them to the bank to get traded in, which I'm sure that bank teller was real jazzed about that. But they were able to recover, even though he ate $4,000. They got $3,550 back.
I'm just surprised they were able to rinse it off, because I just imagine I've never gotten a dollar bill wet.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that goes very well.
Oh, no, this is a fun fact, Isaiah. Did you know that paper money is not paper at all? It's actually made out of cotton. It's fabric.
So therefore,
if you've ever run a bill through the wash in your pants or whatever, there's a reason it still comes out
you're
looking
right.
nice and clean.
Now that I think about it,
Yeah.
I have pulled money out of the dryer before.
Right. So, yeah, you can rinse it off. You can, and they did.
Yeah, then like $20.
20.
If I have a glove,
Yeah.
I pick up my dog's poop off the ground.
And then you'd wash it off. Would you piece it back together, though? Because then you have to go to a person, too. You can't just use that at Kroger.
Oh, you just go to the bank.
Yeah, you have to go to the bank and then give them the pieces that you kind of are like, here's the serial number I've got. You have to have at least 50% of the bill. It has to be visible.
Do I have 50% of the bill?
Yeah, if you,
Then of course
you
I'm going
have to
in
go
there.
through the bathroom to do it.
What am I going to throw it away? Would I go into the bank teller
No, you
and say,
wouldn't throw it away.
hey,
You'd throw it in your neighbor's yard.
would
And
I?
then they'd get the $20.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, Radio U.
Why don't we take a moment and look ahead for this year at things we're looking forward to in the new year? Big events coming up, big releases, or maybe personal. You got some personal things you're looking forward to in 2024? Go ahead. Let us know at 877-2-RADIO-U. Isaiah, I'll go ahead and lead off. And I'll go with what's obvious and scheduled, and so we know what's going to happen. And that is some big movie releases. A couple that I'm looking forward to. One, here in just a few months, Dune Part 2. It's going to be even better than the first one, I believe.
It's exciting. I had better movies on my list as well.
Oh, you've got some?
Mine was just a hopeful.
Oh, hopeful.
Hopeful for better movies in 2024.
Oh, okay. You don't have any specific?
Nothing in specific, just hopeful for better movies was on my list.
I was looking at some other big releases. Dune is the one that's coming out the soonest that I'm excited about, but also the new Godzilla versus Kong movie. That's probably the one I'm looking forward to the most, just because I know there's no way that's going to suck, right?
Yeah.
It's just going to be awesome. So that's coming up as well. Some of the other stuff coming up this year, a Mad Max Furiosa movie is coming out in the summertime. That should be good. Also, Inside Out 2. That might be up your alley, perhaps. So hopefully we'll get some better movies here in 2024. Another thing that's coming up this year, Isaiah, did you know this? A solar eclipse.
Whoa.
Yeah. Do you remember
Hold the phone. Wait, did you say solar eclipse?
a total solar eclipse?
You're talking space.
Yeah, but space on Earth. Do you remember the last solar eclipse?
I don't.
It wasn't that long ago. It was a couple years ago.
Feels pretty recent. I feel like I've heard them words before.
Yeah. It was a couple years ago, but it doesn't happen all the time. But this one, I mean, we're not going to be far. It's a total solar eclipse that'll be visible for a lot of North America. So that's coming up here on April 8th. That's going to be a big day.
That's close. You said April?
April 8th.
That's exciting. We're not too far away. That feels good.
If you're not in the path of totality, you're gonna travel You going to make a little trip? That's what some people do because it's such a rare experience.
Well, thankfully, it's coming to my neck of the woods. I don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah. All right. All right. That's a big day. April 8th. Mark it on your calendars. You got anything else you're looking forward to in the new year?
A couple of different things that I'm looking forward to. What about the Summer Olympics?
Where are they this year?
I'm not sure where they are.
Paris, right?
I think it might. Is it Paris?
Yeah, I think it's Paris.
Yeah, it is Paris. The Summer Olympics, that's one thing I always look forward to the Olympics. What about, because we're in the midst of it right now, a new college football playoff picture? That's coming along the way in 2024.
I keep flip-flopping on that of whether I think that's going to be cool or whether I think I hate it. So,
Also,
I mean, it'll probably be fun once it actually happens.
yeah, the more games, people just want more.
Yeah.
I also have vacations. I have many trips planned already.
Yeah.
And so for you guys, hopefully you're getting your 2024 vacations trips.
Hey,
the best thing
if not, we have a Worst of the Riot extra podcast that's all about vacations. If you go to the Worst of the Riot podcast and find that there.
The best thing about vacations is the build up to them. It's not always even just going, but having something to look forward to months in advance.
Yes.
And then I'll cap it off with the 2024 presidential election.
Hey.
Nothing better than an election to get everybody riled up.
I was thinking about saying that, but because I am looking forward to it, I know it could, some might say it could have potentially disastrous results. It's possible. However, until that actually happens, in the meantime, I find elections very fun.
I do too. It's exciting talk.
It is. It's exciting. It's controversial. But it's fun to follow.
There's winners and losers.
Yeah,
we love something with winners and losers.
I was gonna say it makes politics like sports, and that's what I love.
So
I love sports. So.
You root for your guy. You hope they win. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they do.
But the debates, I like watching the debates.
It's exciting.
I love the debates. So
I mean, the debates are the best part. No matter who you're rooting for, they're exciting to watch. So even if you don't like certain people, sometimes it can be exciting to watch them debate.
Yeah. So you know what? You got to look on the positives. Even if the elections don't go your way, at least it's going to be a fun ride to get there.
Even just the betting of them, like will everybody make it through the entire debate without falling asleep?
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on RadioU.
Scientists in Denmark have developed an AI algorithm that can predict when somebody will die, and apparently it is very accurate. I don't know how they judge that. If you're still alive, how do they know if it's accurate or not?
Maybe they started testing it out like a year ago. And a bunch of older people tested it out.
Why do they have to be older?
I guess maybe
that would take a lot of predicting.
Maybe a bunch of people. Maybe some like 25-year-olds, some 40-year-olds, some 70-year-olds.
From various age ranges.
They were like, you're going to die within 8 months, and then
They say that it is able to determine life expectancy with 78% correctness.
It's a high percentage.
It uses details of your life, including your income, profession, residence, and health history, to put together basically a death clock on your life. Would you want to do this, Isaiah?
I'd like to know.
Yeah.
78%. I mean, because then is it even accurate? It could be inaccurate. You could be a part of the 22%.
Yeah. You got a 1 in 5 chance of beating the AI and living. But that doesn't necessarily mean living longer either. Think about that.
And you got to think as well,
would you die earlier just to spite the AI?
What's the accuracy? Like the 78% accuracy, do you think that means that it's getting 78% of people correct? Or does that mean it's telling you you're going to die around the age of 85? And the 78% accuracy is you passing away sometime between 75 and 92.
Yeah, it's got to be that. It's got to be that. I don't think. Yes, I think it has to be what you just said. The latter.
Not that it's getting 78% of people exactly right.
Yeah, and how specific is it being? Is it giving you a time frame of you will live like into your 70s, Or is it saying like, once you hit 73, that's going to be the last year for you? I don't know how specific it's really drilling down. And if it is just giving you kind of a big range, that's not as impressive to me.
It takes into account many of the things in your life, including gender, health diagnoses, your profession, being a higher income earner, or being in a leadership role. Many of those made it to be a shorter life.
It also sounds like using those metrics, using that information, a well-trained person, human being, could make a pretty decent assessment as well. Again, especially depending on how specific you're being about when somebody's going to die. Oh, if you have more money and you have a better income, a better health history already, well then, yeah, odds are you're going to live longer. It doesn't take AI to figure that out. You know
See, but Hudson, nobody wants to hear that from you. They want to hear it from a robot.
Yeah.
Why do you think people don't go and get their fortunes read? Because they don't want a person telling them wild things like that.
Well, also, why would a robot, this is the real truth, why would a robot lie to you?
They have no reason
The
to.
robot could be wrong. It's not going to lie. I don't know if it's capable of that. Based off of the movies, I don't think so.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.